Damien, thanks for taking the time out to be here with us today. How are you keeping?
Yeah, I'm good, Darren. Obviously, the guys are back in the gym now. I think this is their second week. So, as staff members, listen, we just leave Mara up to it. We pop in and out just to say hello. And no, listen, all's good. Yeah, looking forward to the new season.
It's hard to believe it's only been over a month since the last time we would have spoke to you in Drogheda. A lot has changed since then. How do you sum up the last few weeks?
Yeah, here was a mental time, and even the last, 3, 4, 5 months of the season, you could arguably say that was pretty crazy as well. Certainly off the pitch. But listen, we obviously know what's gone on in the background now. Mickey O'Rourke, what he's done and taken on is unbelievable, and I think myself, the staff, the players, yourself, the fans should all be very grateful for what he's done. You can argue he's just stabilised the club and kept the DNA of the club alive and kicking. So yeah, crazy time off the pitch, and then obviously on the pitch, we qualified for Europe. That was the grand plan since we took over 2 years ago. We went close last year, but obviously a step too far with the cup final. Then this year, maybe more belief, another year down the line, a better squad, better team, better players, better mentality, and I think we absolutely deserve to get Europe. People probably wrote us off all year and even at the start of the season, but without doubt, and nobody will change my mind on it, I think it was the greatest achievement in League of Ireland football last year. Credit to Stephen, he's got 4 in a row. Credit to John coming in, again stabilising Pats and winning them the cup, but the greatest achievement I think certainly goes down to our players and what they did.
With everything that was going on in the background and the uncertainty, the professionalism of the players and staff, is that something that brought you all together? Was FTA players and staff against the world at one point?
It was. I used it in football. Not that I'm any genius at motivational tools or anything, but yeah, well, I guess what was going on in the background, I definitely used it as a tool to bring us closer. Not that we could get any more closer, but yeah, there was certainly a bit of that, and it was referenced many times in the dressing room and us against the world, which is what we've always played on anyway, but it was certainly more than ever with the last few months of the season. We're all in the same boat. So yeah, we used it, and it definitely for sure got us over the line in games.
It was an extraordinary achievement. Were you able to celebrate and appreciate and let it sink in, or did the uncertainty kind of ruin a bit of it for you?
No, it didn't ruin it one bit, and I was disappointed that it all didn't work out anyway. I'm sure many people are thinking, oh, Duffer was in the background causing chaos and doing this and that. I assure everybody I wasn't. I'm a very simple guy. I love the players, I love the staff, I love coaching, I love trying to build a football team. That's all I did in the background. So what went on upstairs, I guess you could say, was down to the board and what have you. And again, just to touch on Mickey, what he did, it wasn't to save Damien Duff or anything like that. It was, it was Shelburne that was in the best interest of himself. So it was to really save Shelburne. That's what he did, and I think people should be very grateful. But no, did we enjoy it? Here, absolutely. I'd like to think I sheltered everyone, really. Staff, well, not as much as the staff. I have to vent to somebody, Darren, but definitely players. I think we sheltered them from a lot, and again, I think it showed on the pitch, that togetherness, and yeah, they didn't know exactly what was going on in the background, so we just sheltered them from it, and they could just go out and play and express themselves.
I think that last day against Drogheda probably sums up the Shelburne existence. There's the misery and the worry when we go 2-0 down, there's the unbridled joy when we win the game, and then when you speak afterwards around some of the uncertainty around your own future, it kind of goes back to panic stations. Were you ever really worried, or did you always know in your heart that this is where you'd be sitting on this day and time?
Well, listen, regardless of who the owners were, there was the whole still involved. I'd like to think I was still going to be back here, albeit in a different environment and different circumstances, and how long I would have lasted, I don't know. But again, the postman, I wasn't trying to take that away from what the team and the club did. I'm just always brutally honest in interviews, and when somebody asks me in interviews after draw the game, what's the plans for next year? Well, I didn't really know, and nothing was signed, sealed, delivered for myself, the staff, or near on every player at the club. So all you'd get out of me is honesty in interviews. So, but listen, it didn't take away from me the celebrations, whatever. It was an incredible night, incredible achievement, like I said, and it all goes back to the players and what they did.
Having that backing of the fans, I know you're not on social media, but in that kind of uncertain period after Drogheda, for the few days after that, fans were vocal, and it wasn't just kind of social media moaning. They wrote to the club, they were very honest that if there was changes to be made and if you weren't to be here, they would strongly consider about whether or not they wanted to support the regime and buy a season ticket. Did you know you had that support of the fans, and how much did it mean to you?
Yeah, well, we were actually, myself and all the staff, we were in, I'm not sure whether it was Madrid or Lisbon at the time. We were off scouting for Europe next year. But no, we booked a nice trip at the end of the season. We went to a couple of Champions League games, Celtic, Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Braga. Then we flew to Lisbon, to Mero's hometown, thinking he'd show us a good time, but he wasn't an overly great host. But we got to the Sporting Lisbon game as well, and then there was a fourth game on so it was just a football fest. So it was all, I guess, kind of kicking off while I was away. So yeah, a few people did send me messages that was going on. It was sobering, excuse the pun. I probably needed a bit of sobering up at the time, and yeah, it does mean a lot, and I'd like to think the fans do know that I am one of them. I'm not a blow-in. When I first took the gig, people said, here, you won't last long, that I'd jump ship or be sacked or whatever. But no, here, I love it here. This is a special place. It's my club, and that's why I was so desperate to stay. So yeah, when I heard these messages were going through, yeah, it meant a lot. But still, there was a tinge of sadness that it all hadn't worked out with the previous owners, i.e. Hull.
To go from newly promoted in 2022 to end in 2023 in Europe, it is, as you say, probably one of the most remarkable achievements in the short history of the club in the last few years. What does that mean to you in terms of the pride you take in that job, and I guess putting Shells back where we belong?
Well, again, as I touched on at the top there, for me it was the greatest achievement in the league this year. Regardless of silverware, other clubs, what our guys done, what our players done, was incredible. But even to go so close last year, like you said, we openly spoke about Europe last year when we were newly promoted. And that's what we've tried to instill in the lads straight away. So yeah, amazing achievement. It's probably unheard of that a first division club coming up, and I guess to grow so quickly. Maybe I'm biased there, but I have seen phenomenal growth on and off the pitch in this club, and long may continue. We haven't got lazy, we haven't got blasé or anything about how it's happened, and the lads will get a fright. I spoke to them briefly last Monday about what to expect, about the boys that have been here for 2 years. They can't get tired of the demands and the standards, and the new boys coming in, they better get up to speed with them straight away, or here there'll be problems for them as individuals and us as a team, because we need to stay together and keep working together. So yeah, what the guys have done in 2 years, challenging for Europe both years, I'd say, getting in on the second year, club's in an amazing place, but it absolutely has to continue.
It was a roller coaster year, probably epitomises why we all love football. What were the highlights for you?
I don't know, it sounds corny going in every day. The fans don't see that obviously in here. I was about to say, yeah, it's great fun and what have you. Here the lads, I'd say, hate me 50% of the time, maybe more, as in I'm on them and demanding, but we have an amazing laugh, and we're doing the thing that we love, and going into the office every day, prepping a team for a Friday night. I've heard managers in the past in the league, and we openly laugh about it as a staff, that Friday night's the worst day of their week, and I was thinking, oh, no, this is what we all live for. So yeah, just going into work every day. Of course, yeah, there's a few games that jump out through the year. I don't know, early on in the season, maybe Bowes here at home. I'm sure we'll touch on it later, but it's another reason why we needed a director of football, or technical director. I'm not sure what the phrase is now, but Luke Byrne coming in, because Keane Levy scored the winner that night, and I'm no doubt that Keane would have stayed here, but there was a real vacuum in the club at the time, in the summer window, there was no one really there to get the deal done. We were slow, didn't act, and all of a sudden Keane's gone down the road to Pats, which probably moves me on to my next game. Maybe Pats here at home. It's the first time here we've had some big results, I think, over the 2 years, but our whole display here against Pats at home, and then the manner of how you win, the 2 late goals, it was just utter domination from start to finish, even when it was 11v11. It was a proper performance, and it was a performance that myself, staff, but even the fans, should be really proud of. Yeah, I think we have a proper team here in our hands. And then the last night of the season, to go 2-0 down, it's probably the Shelbourne way. Everybody shell shocked, especially when we played, I thought, really well in the first half. 2 sucker punches, and how the guys responded, the calmness that they showed, where we've probably struggled at times over the 2 years showing that calmness, but they showed absolute belief, and obviously quality in the second half, and to come back and Rompone was a wonderful night.
One of the elements, I think, when you're trying to pinpoint exactly how this team is matured is that now if we go a goal down in a game, we're able to get it back. Like even that Pats game you mentioned, a goal down undeservedly, but still complete confidence. We turn it around and completely dominant that night. Same up in Drogheda, 2 goals down, virtually impossible to turn that around, especially up there. They have a good record, but it always felt like this team that they could do it. Is that a great example of how far this team has come in the last 18 months?
Absolutely. Here, not that I play a big part in it or staff or anything, but maybe a year ago when we were 1-0 down, and I've had I don't know what to call it, but proper rants in the dressing room, screaming in people's face, which here surprises me because I'm not that type of guy. But I guess you go over the white line, you turn into a different animal. But even me learning as a manager, it doesn't help. We've learned. So anytime you see a Shelbourne team come out and they've been markedly worse in the second half, it's probably because I've shouted at them. So I've had to, I guess, be different and be calmer with them. So it's helped me grow. The last 2 years, they've grown as players. I have absolutely grown as a manager, and that's why you're saying, yeah, they've grown over the 18 months and coming back from goals down. But that was why it was so important for me to sign these players down, to be going into the last week of the season, and we didn't have a squad for next year. I just thought it was absolutely bewildering stuff. So needless to say, the minute again Mickey did his business and we're all here next year, that's why you were on Twitter every day announcing players, because we didn't have a team, we didn't have a squad. How
much did you appreciate the faith that the players shown in you? Because at that time of year, everyone's talking to everyone, you're telling them, stay with me, keep the faith, I'll get you something, but there's no guarantee. How grateful are you of the trust the players showed in you to stay committed?
Very proud, and here, I guess, very emotional when I strip it all back. It's on a par, I guess, when you say the fans writing into the club, they won't renew their season tickets. It's similar to what the players, listen, I was always open with them, sheltered them from the enough stuff, but I had to be open with them. So yeah, guys haven't signed on here, the likes of Paddy, stick with me, I want you here, as long as I'm here you're going to be here. And I had that conversation with many players. So for them not to sign anywhere, it's always a downside in the League of Ireland. There's 1 year deals. I'd like us to get to maybe some point with this club where you've seen it with younger players that maybe have potential to go to England, etc. We have signed guys down on 2.5 year deals, but I think that has to be an ambition for the league, not just for Shelbourne. This rollover every year, players flirting with other clubs with 10 weeks to go in the season. So yeah, our guys absolutely amazing. They stuck with us, they trusted me, because I'm always honest with them, as I'd like to think I'm honest with you, Darren.
How's your squad shaping up? You've got your business done early, which I suppose is markedly different to the majority of clubs in the Premier Division.
Yeah, listen, there's no right or wrong way, I'd say. You see other clubs being, whether you call it calmer or slower or whatever, but I absolutely believe that I want the squad and the group together as soon as possible. That's what I did in the first year, that's what we did last year, and I was obviously, like I said, everything was tied down. We got straight to business. No signings were knee-jerk signings because we always had a plan as a staff, so we knew the players we wanted. It was just being given the green light, I guess, to sign them. So now, listen, business is nearly done, but for sure there will be maximum 2 more in the building.
How nice is it as well to maybe remove some of those layers of complications and get back to the ways of working in terms of recruitment and retention that have served you well over the last 2 years?
Yeah, well, we all just turned into, I guess, masters of complication. For the last, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 months of the season, it was a very complicated place to work, whereas I'm just big on simplicity. Do you want someone, do you not? If you want them, you sign them, you negotiate and you sign. So yeah, it's similar to, I guess, how I coach. Simplicity is king. The famous Johan Cruyff saying, you know, to play simple football is the hardest thing that's actually there is to do. It's the same off the pitch. So simplicity is back here, and people might hear that word and go, oh, it's a bit of a negative word. Absolutely not. I think there's simplicity is beautiful, and whether it be on the pitch or off the pitch, how we've done our business, we've got it done very, very quickly. Guys that want to come and play here, they'll be similar, very similar to the players the fans have seen for the last 2 years. They'll have a connection with them. Why will they have a connection with them? Because A, they're good players obviously, but B, they'll wear their heart in their sleeve and they'll run through that brick wall behind you, Darren, for the club.
We're heading into another season of record ticket sales at Shells. It's going to eclipse last year's record. There's more people trying out League of Ireland than ever. There's people coming down to games. What would you describe Tolka Park on Friday night to someone who's never experienced it? How would you describe it?
How would I describe it? It's the best 2 hours of my week, best 3 hours if it's the whole experience. You're coming and before the game and warm-ups and then winding down after. I've fallen in love with here I was always a football snob. Even now, outside the top 6 in the Premier League, I wouldn't watch it. I don't think the Hull guys were too happy when I told them I didn't watch the Championship and I'd never seen Hull play. I was probably getting off to on the wrong foot. But no, yeah, so, you know, getting involved with the League of Ireland and falling in love with it, and now it's the League of Ireland over the Premier League for me. I've lost touch really with the Premier League. It's just everything here. So yeah, listen, Tolka, amazing. Dublin derbies here, if they're anything better, but from a league point of view, okay, we're going playing away from home, going into Damien, Pats, Rovers. They're amazing bloody nights, and long may the league grow, because Shells has grown so big, so quickly. But here I could be wrong again, I'm a blow in, but I see the league doing the exact same thing as well. It's grown big very quickly.
Those Friday nights were really special. I know you're not on social with that video of you went a bit viral after that Pats game. Is that one you've seen since?
Yeah, here you can't, I guess, help but see it. Yeah, I'm not on the social. I encourage players not to be on the social. Yeah, it's great, I guess, connection with fans, but it can have a negative effect as well on players. Players love the adulation and 100 positive comments, but they'll always just see the one negative one. So here I've no interest in it, never had. But yeah, the celebration, that's just emotion. It probably rubbed up people the wrong way. I don't know, other managers in the league seem to be allowed to celebrate with their fans, but I'm not. So that was just spur of the moment. It was obviously the gesture that I got a ban for down in front of the Cammack against Pats. It was an amazing emotional night. What a win, an amazing performance, and yeah, it was just here, me going off to another place. I'm an emotional guy.
You talked about the demands, and particularly players who've been here 2 years, not skirting them and being able to step up to the challenge. Laying down that challenge, big boots to fill, Moylan, Jarvis, Wood, players have departed. Is that something that you're looking internally for those players now to step up and jump into that role?
I think they have to. They shouldn't even need me to tell them. So here we've obviously signed attacking players already. Like I said, there'll be 2 more max in, and more than likely they'll be attacking players. They're big boots to fill. Out of 44 goals, I think last year, I think the 3 boys were involved in 32, 33 of them. So they're very big boots to fill. 3 incredible guys, the 2 boys coming from England. here, and I'm sure they're listening. Our door's always open, guys. And on top of that, Jack came 2 years ago, and he's become a club icon, and it really, I guess, got out of control the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season. It was just like as if everything was kind of clicking with him, and but yeah, an amazing guy, and I'm so excited to watch him play in Jan and to see his first game for Lincoln. So yeah, big boots to fill. That's what football's all about. Revolving door stuff. Somebody leaves, somebody comes in. Right, here's your chance.
Jack turned into Shero at the end of last year just for icon status and popularity. I've never seen anyone mobbed in Tolka like that in a very long time. It's mad to think that he, in such a short space of time, cemented himself so well with the fan base.
Yeah, he does stuff that nobody else could do in the league. So here I'd be harder than most people on Jack. He could frustrate you at times, but here he's only young. What he could do with his football was outrageous, and like I said, that last 5-6 games of the season, he was just affecting games. And as we always tell guys, especially attacking players, young players, that want to get to England, it's all about your stats. It's goals, assists, and his were going through the roof, I guess. So listen, amazing. It was sad to see him go, but like I've always told the young players here, if you I'm never going to stand in your way. I'd be as proud as you. If you get to England, great, but okay, you stay here with Shelburne. But our goal is to help them either play brilliantly for Shells. If you do that, you'll get a move to the UK, which is a lot of young players' dreams.
We saw obviously with Draper, Drada, and here with Wood and Jarvis, like there probably is that bit of untapped potential across the way in the UK academy. Do you see more movement in like players coming back this way rather than all going the other way? Is that something that you think will happen in the next year or two?
I don't know. I do think that the UK clubs will look at these players coming back, especially Wood and Jarvis. You know what they did for us. They came as probably young boys and went back as men, maybe. Not if you saw the state of the house that they left it in when they went back, but yeah, I think it's, if anything, there might be more. It's always a risk, you know. We were lucky, and especially Freddie Draper at Drogheda. I think Kevin was lucky that they buy in, but there's many that come and don't buy into it, Darren. And whereas going the other way, Irish players, that's always going to be there. Young Irish players are always going to want to go to England. It's never going to change.
It's probably fitting that next year when Shells are back in Europe, it's 20 years from the famous European run in 04. Deportivo, Hajduk Split, Reykjavik, and then obviously the UEFA Cup. Is that something you'll draw inspiration on? Probably the club's highlight in Europe following 20 years? Yeah,
here we try and draw inspiration, trust me, from absolutely everywhere and anywhere. So yeah, I'll be on YouTube downloading videos, and Rogi's goal here against, was it Hajduk, was it?
Hajduk, yeah.
He was on my pro licence, he doesn't stop talking about it. I don't think he's ever got over it himself. So yeah, listen, we try and prod them in every angle, every way we can, emotionally, to motivate them. So yeah, we'll be going down that route again. I know it was a special time, even just coming in here and seeing all the dates of when we won trophies. Here, I want to be back winning silverware at this club sooner rather than later. We just have to keep working hard. But yeah, it is a special club. I spoke to Luke Byrne a couple of weeks ago, and he spoke about this magic that this club has, and he says it drove them on to winning the club or the league in 2006 when there was a lot going on in the background, and it's the first time I've heard that really. So it just felt very similar to the season just gone. There was a lot going on in the background, and there was something special, something that you can't really, it's not tangible, but there's something, another force I guess driving us on in the background. So maybe that's the special magic that Stewie was on about. So yeah, here, listen, when Europe comes around, we'll be trying everything. But first and foremost, I know Shells fans yourself, and 20 years, and it's great. The league is the bread and butter. And Waterford's on February the 16th. Let's not get carried away with, I can't wait for Europe and our booking tickets and what have you. We might have to actually bring in some type of fine if I hear any of the lads talking about it, because there's 16, 18, 20 games, I don't know, before Europe, and that's a lot to play for. So Europe is absolutely on the back burner for me.
You mentioned earlier, I just want to touch on Luke Byrne's role. Massive that his leadership, while lost on the pitch, is not lost at the club.
Yeah, it was just a must stay. So I think in the last 2 years, totting it up, I think myself, the club, the staff, I think we've nearly released over 40-45 people, and some of them are staff, and it's literally, yeah, okay, thanks for everything and leave, but you couldn't do that with Lukey. He's brilliant, he's world class, and here I told him the other day, I says, I'm stopping with the compliments, it's getting out of hand now, so this is the last time I speak fondly of him in public. He knows how I feel. I think the club all sing off the same hymn sheet, everyone was desperate for him to stay. I just mentioned it in passing to Mickey. Again, when I met him, when Mickey took the club, I guess, back over, and amazing what Mickey's done. He's obviously went and met Luke, and he's seen that the need for a technical director at this club, and I've no doubt, I think I said in the press release, he'll be the best overnight. He will be. He's the best in the country already at what he's doing. He's been invaluable to me in the last week, 10 days, and I think you'll see the real, his real magic is when the academy's back and the women's team and what have you. He's just hyper with energy and enthusiasm. But let's not forget, just class. So yeah, here he's young, he's learning on the job, but nothing will get in his way. He'll be absolutely amazing for this football club, and I've no doubt I want to stay a long time here, but Lukey's just invaluable. He will see us all out the door.
You talked about what you enjoyed this season, your highlights, your personal favourites. I know it's hard because we're still in this season, technically still 2023, but 2024, what excites you? What are you looking forward to?
It's just going into the unknown again. Going into a new season, it's uncomfortable, but I like being uncomfortable. I like being under pressure. But again, I'm not getting carried away. Club's in a great place. I think it's our best, most rounded squad yet, and still a couple to come in. But again, like I said, I'm not getting carried away. It's the toughest season to come. So I'm sure people might be told, let's go win the league or get through to the group stages. Let's start off February the 16th, Waterford. It is the toughest league so far that we've come up against. It'll be harder than ever to win games. I think it'll be less points to get into Europe. It'll be less to win the league. So a very tough year is coming. There'll be ups, there'll be downs, but like we've always done as players, and I'd like to think fans as well, we've stuck together, and we'll just keep working hard with honesty in our heart. It's very simple the way we work.
Happy with how it's worked out, that you won't be standing on the riverside, you'll be on the other side of the barrier?
Yeah, listen, they put on amazing visuals and shows and singing, what have you, but no disrespect to the guys over there, but I'd much rather be here in the dugout this side for sure.
Just to get a final word, did you ever get your Millie quit from the fine?
No, and for some reason I don't think I'll be getting it, or we'll be getting it. So listen, I'll give the lads a night out in the middle of Jan sometime, just a bit of bonding, a few beers, and yet again it'll be me paying for that night out. So would it be nice to get Ajin's million, but no, it'll be me paying for the night out.
Our final Christmas message to Shels fans, your parting message for 2023?
Parting message, I'll look down the barrel, will I? Thank you for some of the most amazing moments of my life and my career. I've absolutely loved every minute of the 2 years, and I'm so excited. I know I'm a bit deadpan at times, Darren, but I am very excited about next season. Like I said, going back into the unknown with an incredible core group of players that would die for this club. I don't say that lightly. And just the togetherness between the staff, the players, the fans, coming here Friday nights, going away Friday nights. I've had some of the best nights of my life at this club, and long may it continue. Yeah, so, and again, a big thanks to Mickey as well for helping everyone out, I guess. So I hope to repay players, staff, fans, yourself. I know you wear your heart on your sleeve, but I'd like to repay Mickey as well. So yeah, we've done well. We've consistently grown over the last 2 years, and the plan, no doubt, is to grow more again this year.
Thanks, Damien. Happy Christmas.
Same to you.